Welcome back to Outlook Portland. My guest this morning is Commissioner Dan Gardner. Dan, let's talk politics. First, the national scene. All the Democrats running for the nomination are courting labor this time. It's sort of a big change, I think, in terms of politics and attitudes. Who do you like in the field at this stage?
Well, I think whoever wins the nomination.
Well said. Obviously, you're looking for an appointment with the State Department.
No, I'm not looking for an appointment. I think all of them have great, attributes to them. I certainly, whether it's Senator Clinton we're talking about, or Senator Obama, or Senator Edwards, I think they all have phenomenal skills and ability to bring. I think any one of the three would make a great president.
My sense is that there's been a significant change in focus during this election, and issues of concern to working people are now front and center on the Democratic agenda, whether it's health care reform or labor law reform or wage and hour issues. What's changed?
I think what's changed is they're recognizing, how working men and women have been ignored, how the middle class has been eroded over the last several years, and how we need more family wage jobs. How much health care costs have just skyrocketed through the roof, and how many fewer people are being covered under health care plans nowadays.
So it's safe to say that whoever wins the Democratic nomination, you'll be an enthusiastic supporter of that candidate.
Absolutely.
Let's talk closer to home. You've got two people running for the Democratic nomination to take on Gordon Smith. Steve Novick, a longtime activist, who has strong credentials in the labor movement, and Jeff Merkley, who is the Speaker of the House of Representatives and is widely credited for getting a lot of the hugely positive session that was just concluded. You've endorsed Jeff Merkley. Why?
Well, I have deep respect for Steve Novick. I've worked with him for several years. I agree with him on a lot of the issues. For one thing, I've known Jeff Merkley longer. Jeff and I go back to days when we both talked about someday being in the legislature. I ended up there a couple of years before he did. But I think Jeff has shown a track record, a proven record of accomplishments in the legislature, of actually voting for and standing up for working men and women's issues, whether it's minimum wage or prevailing wage or, Family Leave Act, all of those things. He's shown some great leadership in those areas.
Are you disappointed in Senator Smith's record on these issues?
I am absolutely disappointed in Senator Smith's record on these issues. I think Senator Smith has not shown any leadership toward prevailing wage, toward minimum wage, toward national health care.
Of course, the irony on prevailing wage is it was a Republican governor that actually was his great champion initially here in Oregon, so it's not really a partisan issue.
No, it's not really, and actually the original Davis-Bacon Act was two Republican senators, so it's not a partisan issue. It's a working person's issue. It's about trying to make sure when you're building a building or a highway or whatever it is, in someone's local municipality, that it's local workers who have the crack at work at getting that work.
Senator Smith is the incumbent. He's going to have a lot of money. The Oregonian has, I think, taken the position that he's really in the tradition of Mark Hatfield. They see him as more of a moderate than some others do. Can Jeff Merkley, if he gets the nomination, can he defeat Gordon Smith next November?
I absolutely believe he can, because I don't believe Gordon Smith is that kind of a moderate. I believe that Jeff Merkley is a person who can show leadership in this state and leadership in the U.S. Senate.
We've come to the end of this segment, and Dan, when we come back, I want to talk a little bit more about you, your role both nationally and locally, a little bit about your background, and maybe your future political plans. This is Outlook Portland. Please stay tuned.
Outlook Portland with Nick Fish is brought to you by Azumano Travel. Call or visit the Azumano location nearest you for your next vacation.